When I was told I'd have to do a capstone project for my final semester, I was like, huh? And my friend was like, yeah, it's a project you gotta do for your final semester. And I was like, oh, true. So here we are. You'll learn throughout these next few minutes that I tend to procrastinate a lot, and you could bet I did the same for this project, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, I decided to do my capstone on my college experience as a transfer student, cause why not? I mean, after all, everybody always asks me, hey Justin, I just gotta know, man, why'd you come to Winona State? And I never know what to tell them, so maybe we can learn together. It all started in the town of Huntley, Illinois. For you Minnesotans, Huntley is a semi-popular town located about 50 miles from Chicago. And for the children out there, Chicago is a large city in Illinois, which is in North America. Okay, so it was my senior year at Huntley High School and I had no clue where I wanted to go for college. In all honesty, I was kind of hoping someone would make the decision for me, because I'm also terrible at making life decisions too. Anyways, my friends were talking about going to schools all out of state. I'm talking Iowa, Wisconsin, Florida, so I figured I'd do the same. I checked out schools in Indiana, Minnesota, Michigan, etc., etc., but when my mom made me apply to at least one Illinois school, and all my friends last second decided to go to a school in or near Chicago, you can guess I chose the closest option. The option I put no thought into whatsoever. The one and only Illinois State University. Alright, this is where it gets good. I go to ISU not knowing a single person except for a few people I recognized from my high school, but this is back when I was very particular about who I hung out with. Anyways, I was majoring in a program called Arts Technology. What's that, you might ask? I still have no idea. But in this major, I would eventually find some friends who would make going to ISU not the horribly depressing and lonely experience it seemed like it was destined to be. I'll mention briefly that at the time I was in a long-distance relationship with this girl, we'll call her Dora, who never wanted me to go out or meet new people, and was always talking to her backpack like it was a person. Another great choice on my part, I know, but once I finally came to my senses to be my own person, I made a lot of new friends, and my college experience honestly became everything I wanted it to be. We broke up 1 week later, rest in peace. Most nights I would go out partying with friends, and I began to start, dare I say, enjoying my college experience for the first time. And all in all, I'm glad I can make such strong friendships that would last me a lifetime.
Who? Oh, that kid. Yeah, he's alright.
Everything seemed to be going pretty well, but of course life likes to f*** me up when I'm chillin'. Cause come sophomore year, I learned that 90% of the friends I had made had left Illinois State, including my roommate who hadn't yet told me he wouldn't be there until 1 week prior to the start of the semester. But I'm not bitter about that, even though I ended up with a random roommate who had alarms go off every morning around 4 a.m. and slept with his shoes on. Anywho, I spent my second semester on floor 19 of a lovely 28-story dorm, known as Waterson Towers. Did you know it's one of the tallest dormitory buildings in the world and holds over 2,200 students? Yeah, that's a thing, and I lived there. And with 2,200 students, most nights one of them, of course, burnt the fuck out of their popcorn because they're freshmen and haven't learned how to use a microwave, which we all know you don't learn until sophomore year. But yeah, the fire alarms would go off and I had to walk down 18 flights of stairs most nights that year, sometimes at 5 a.m., sometimes out in the cold in the rain. But I'm not here to talk about every little thing that made ISU a living hell. I'm just trying to sum up the sequence of events that led me to transfer out of there. So with most of my friends gone and no desire to start all over again, I found myself pretty unhappy most days. And on top of that, my living situation, my pitiful choice of major, and my new girlfriend did not make it any easier on me. Speaking of which, this girlfriend, we'll call her Jimmy's mom, was another long-distance relationship because of course I never learned. Except Jimmy's mom was far more passive-aggressive than Dora the Explorer. And I'm not trying to be rude, we all got our problems, but I feel these relationships played a large role in my overall mental health while at ISU, which was pretty shite, especially since I was denied counseling from the school. I would go home every chance I got to see my hometown friends and record some fire music though.
Cream cheese on my bagel, I like nuts like Hazel. And my dog Hazel thick, he lick peanut butter off my dick.
On a serious note, I do want to express my appreciation for the friends of mine that I had at ISU at the time. I sincerely don't know how I would have gotten through that second year without friends like my friend Kristen. I became so filled with hate and bitterness in my last semester there, but I'm glad I had someone going through the same feelings with me.
As far as just the basic experience at ISU for my sophomore year was not great. I think really the only thing that kept me there was friends, and that's it.
But man, did it feel good when Chris and I dipped out that motherfucking bitch in May of 2019. But before I could do all that, I had to pick a college to transfer to, and you already know your boy waited till the last second to decide where to go. All I knew, after breaking things off with Jimmy's mom and realizing a lot of my friends were the unfriendly type, was that I wanted to start fresh at a school decently far from home. I made a list of 164 schools across the country and slowly began eliminating them until I was left with 10. It was a bit much looking back, but I tend to be a perfectionist, which is why I never get anything done. One school that remained in the top 10 was a university that nobody I knew had ever even heard of, so it was perfect. Winona State University. I had been pushed to visit once during my junior year of high school by my father, and even though I wasn't having it and it was a dark and rainy day, I for whatever reason had a pleasant time touring the campus. 4 years later, and I moved 300 miles northwest to Wababam, Minnesota, got a place with some dude with a cat that shits on the floor every morning, became a server at a local diner, fell in love with a goth chick, and decided I was probably going to stay in Minnesota for a while.
This is big.
That's what she said. Though it was difficult being a new student again at a college far from home where I knew no one, it helped to have teachers who I felt genuinely cared about my success, unlike ISU. Shout out Professor Tom Greer. Also, people are just really nice up here. It caught me off guard at first, like people actually say hello and smile when you walk by. Minnesota nice, dude. And though I've never felt drawn to a major or university like a lot of people experience, I finally felt a sense of belonging when I came to Winona. Like things were finally going my way. And then boom, pandemic. You already know about the COVID pandemic, so I won't even bother spending time on it. I know you're tired of hearing about it by now. All that's worth mentioning is that online school blows, and I only got to have one regular semester at WSU before things got bloody whackers. However, I was able to meet a few friends before things went online, but I didn't have quite enough time to develop some of these relationships into anything long-lasting. But regardless, I still found myself at a better school, in a better major, surrounded by better people, while alongside the alluring Mississippi River and the natural beauty of Winona's bluffs and lakes. And even though I'm a senior and this is supposed to be my final year, it turns out I'm going to have to go an extra semester, and I'm fine with that. I've come to accept the decisions I've made in the past, or struggled to make, because they've led me here, and they've shaped me into the person I'm happy to be today. Super cheesy, I know, but you need a little cheddar cheese on top of this Capstone pizza if you know what I'm saying. Nowadays, I spend most of my time serving, making music, skateboarding, kissing grandmas, and procrastinating on my capstone. But honestly, I suppose I don't mind my poor time management skills. I mean, is it incredibly stressful? Sure, but what's a lot of stress ever done to anybody? Besides, I basically made this whole project in 2 weeks, so at this point I've convinced myself I only work well under intense migraine-inducing pressure. Speaking of which, I need to find a new place to live by tomorrow. And as far as after graduation, well, I guess I'll figure that out when the time comes, or, flip a coin or something. But all I'm worried about right now is getting this capstone project done. One thing at a time. Thanks for watching.
Cream cheese on my bagel, I like nuts like Hazel. And my dog Hazel thick, he lick peanut butter off my dictionary. Getting kinda scary, yeah. Her on her that call her Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary all night long, and she wearing all these. Wait a second, that's just me. Now I'm sitting in a tree. KISSING, all your mothers, cause it's free. And if your dog's name's Hazel, then I'll spread 'em like cream cheese.
Cream cheese. It's up to my knees, got a ladle and I'm able to scoop up that with ease. It's crazy, bet you wish you were me. I'm living like I'm Larry cause I'm lounging in my cream.
Capstone, ooh, capstone, ayy, capstone, ah, capstone, yeah, capstone, ayy, capstone, ooh, capstone, ah, capstone, yeah, capstone, ayy, capstone, ooh, capstone, yeah. Don't look at me like that. Alright, that's my capstone. Thanks so much for listening. I love you.